Okay, so we're doing homework 2.2, question 038, and it says, bronze is an alloy or mixture of the metals copper and tin. The properties of bronze depend on the percentage of copper in the mix. A chemist decides to study the proper ties of a given alloy of bronze as the proportion of copper is varied. She starts with 9 kilograms of bronze that contain 3 kilograms of copper and 6 kilograms of tin, and either adds or removes copper. Let f of x be the percentage of copper in the mix. If x kilograms of copper are added, x is greater than 0, or removed, x is less than 0. So basically it's saying that bronze is equal to copper plus tin. So in this example we had 9 kilograms of bronze. We started with 9 kilograms of bronze, and that came from 3 kilograms of copper and 6 kilograms of tin. So f of x is the percentage of copper in the bronze, which means the total copper over the total bronze. So your initial value would be x equals 0 because you're not adding or removing copper. So then f of x would be 3 over 9 because you're not adding or removing any copper, so that's what you start off with.
Because there's originally...
Because there was originally 3 copper and 9 bronze, and the ratio between that is 33%. So another example is when x is equal to 1, you are adding 1 copper to the total copper. So that means that it would be 4, because if you remember, if you add, okay, so the new percentage would be 40% because you're adding 1 copper, which increases the bronze also. And the reason it does that is because when you add 1 copper, this, like for example, if you added 1 copper to 3 kilograms, it would become 4 kilograms of copper. And then the tin stays the same, so then it would be 4 plus 6 equals 10. So that would be your new ratio, which is 40%. So then when you get to x equals -3, that means you're subtracting all 3 kilograms of the original copper, which means when you do, this is the original amount, 3, and when you subtract 3, you get 0, and then your bronze will decrease also because of the relationship here. So then it's 9 minus 3, which is 6, but because it's 0 divided by 6, your ratio is 0. So this relationship can be shown with the equation f of x equals 3 plus x, 9 plus x, because when you add, like I said before, 1 copper, it changes the whole thing.
So the numerator represents, what does the numerator represent? 3 plus x represents what? The total?
Copper.
And what does 9 plus x represent?
The total bronze.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Next.
Okay, so if you were to graph it, the x-axis would be copper added and removed, and your y-axis would be the ratio of copper in the mix. So when your x is 0, so when you're not adding or removing any copper, your initial value is 3 over 9. So that's your initial ratio. And then when you take away 3 copper, you'll get 0% because there's no, because remember the y is the ratio, so when y is 0, you have 0%. So then that means that the domain x is greater than or equal to -3, and you can't go past -3 or more negative than -3 because you can't take away more than your initial value. That's like taking 4 kilograms of copper away from 3 kilograms total, so that wouldn't work.
That wouldn't physically make sense.
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense. So the range is the ratio between copper and bronze.
Mm-hmm.
So f of x has to be greater than or equal to 0 because you can't have a negative percentage, and it cannot be 1 because of the tin that was present before, which is 6. So no matter what, you're always going to have tin in your mix, so it can never be 100% because of the tin. So it can never be 100% copper. And that's shown on the graph as an asymptote. So this will always, as you add more and more copper, like infinitely amounts of copper, as you keep going closer and closer to infinity, it will never reach 1 because 1 is 100%, so it will never reach 100%.